Let's talk pull-ups.
A big, big house. It's my father's house.
So let's talk about the pull-up. The pull-up is a fantastic upper body exercise that sadly is either not utilized as often enough as it should be, or the individual that wants to utilize it is unable to do a pull-up. Now, later on in the video, I will talk about some of the ways you can train to be able to do a pull-up. But for now, I just wanted to talk about a couple different ways you can do a pull-up, as well as this awesome assister, which I found very helpful as I've trained to do pull-ups in the past. So first off, let's start with the different positions and what the most common ones are and what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing. Most often you'll see people, let me get this out of your way, most often you'll see people do pull-ups in two standard positions. Hands like this, neutral grip, or in a chin-up position. Now, both of these are completely fine, but they're very bicep dominant. And what that means is you've got all these different muscles working to create the movement, specifically your biceps and your latissimus dorsi in the back, but certain positions on the bar change which muscles are activated more. In this case, with the chin-up, you've got a lot of biceps, as well as with the neutral grip position, versus a palms facing out position, either here or farther out on the bars, which is also known as a wide grip pull-up. Those are a lot more lat dominant movements in terms of the hand positioning, and that'll weigh in terms of how you're training. Now, this is a super band, as Spree calls it anyways. This is by Spree, S-P-R-I. They sell a lot of fitness equipment. I'm going to put the link down below. I purchased it on Amazon. It's about $30. There are different resistances. I would go with the blue. It's great. Essentially, you loop it onto your bar. You get your one foot or both feet in it. I know you can't see my feet, but that's okay. Then you just go for whatever hand position you want, and it assists you as you come up. Now, I've had many people try this out with me, and I have yet to see someone who is in reasonable shape and has some decent upper body strength that can't do a pull-up on this. So everyone that's tried it has been able to do at least one. So it's really effective. You can use a chair. Just a regular old chair will do. And what happens is you're going to have to do more of a squat position here and here, and then use your legs to take some of that force off and use the rest with your arms. Okay? Now, in terms of training to do a pull-up, we're going to head over to the computer and talk a little bit about the different exercises that you can do to assist you, such as the seated row, the lat pull down, and the gravitron, and also some of the training methodology in terms of sets and reps and what weight you should choose, etc., and to give you a little bit more background on the things you should possibly be doing. So to finish off our pull-up theme, I'm just going to highlight 3 exercises / machines that I like to use to build up my pull-up strength, so to speak. And then I put this picture in here to show you what the lats look like, latissimus dorsi properly named, and where they're really located. You've got the origin down here on the thoracolumbar fascia of the back, and then inserts up here on the humerus, which is also your shoulder, not your shoulder, your arm bone, your upper arm bone. So you can see that when this muscle contracts in this direction, because that's where the muscle fibers are going, it's going to pull the arm down. So when your arms are extended up, when you're hanging from the pull-up bar up here, this muscle is going to help pull you up as it contracts together. So remember, when muscles contract, they shorten. So this side is going to shorten and this side is going to shorten, thereby pulling you up. That's just a little bit about the muscle. Now, these 3 exercises. So the seated row right here, the gravitron right here, and the lat pull down, all 3 are great for building bicep strength, latissimus dorsi strength, among other things. The biceps and latissimus dorsi are 2 of the prime movers being the main movers or main muscles that are involved in an exercise. So in the pull-up, the bicep and the latissimus dorsi are definitely the prime movers. Now, these 2 exercises are what you most commonly see people doing, and they're both great. I'm going to show you in a second an example of what weight you could use to start working towards either, again, building up your pull-ups or starting to be able to do even 1 pull-up. And then the gravitron is a less commonly used machine, and I think it's because people don't really know exactly what it's for. I do see people using it a lot for dips, and that's great, but the pull-up is what I'm mainly interested in. So what happens is you put your knees here and your weight is selected here. Unlike normal machines where you select a weight that's, as you get higher, it gets harder, the weight selection as you get higher takes more weight off of your body weight, so it actually gets easier. So if you selected 70 pounds on here and you weighed 140 pounds, in essence, you're going to be pulling up 70 pounds with your arms because this little platform is going to be taking 70 pounds of work off of what you have to do because of this weight platform. So that's why I really like this machine. It allows you to, one, figure out kind of where you are, play around with the weights a little bit to see how much weight you can pull up, and from there you can progress towards doing it without any weight, which is a full pull-up. Now, here's a couple examples of 1 rep max percentages, and 1 rep max is the most amount of weight that you can do for 1 rep. So you couldn't do 2 reps with it, you couldn't do 3, it's just 1. So 60% of your rep max, which would be, if assuming your rep max is 100, again, this is just an example, please don't take this as the gospel truth. 60% of your rep max would be 60 pounds. So 10 reps of 60 pounds, followed by 7 reps of 70%, so 7 reps of 70, and then back to 10 reps of 60 pounds. That's just an example of a set that I might do or might have someone do when I'm training them for the seated row. Now the gravitron's a little bit tricky. Again, you have to play with the weight to see what you can and can't do. So one way you could possibly go about it is to figure out what you can't do with 1 rep. So if you put it down to 30 pounds and you couldn't do a rep, try to up that, or I should say reduce / up that weight by 30 to 40 pounds, so taking it from 30 to either 60 or 70 pounds on the gravitron, and then see how many reps you can do. Shoot for 10 reps. I like 10. It's a great round number, and I normally shoot for that as at least my starting goal. Sometimes I go over it, sometimes I don't. It just depends on the exercise I'm doing. The lat pull down is going to be very similar to the seated row. You could do it differently, but for the sake of simplicity, I put it as the same. Now with the Spree super bands, the ones that were shown in the earlier part of the video, again, shoot for 10 reps. 10 reps is just a nice number to go for. You can go lower, you can go higher, but with the band, it's going to give you graduated resistance, so it's not going to be as specific as the gravitron would be, but it really does help with your ability to do the push-up, pull-up, and from there you'll be surprised at how quickly you actually progress. So that's going to wrap up the video, and if you have any questions, feel free to comment, and I hope you have a great day.